She will desperately look for you when you use this trick. Have you ever been in a situation where you do everything to catch a woman's attention, but she doesn't even notice you're there? Frustrating, right? Maybe you've sent message after message, complimented her like a love-struck poet, or even canceled your plans to be available for her. Feels like the right thing to do, doesn't it? Wrong. Too much interest can land you in the gray zone of whatever in no time. Think of a suspense movie. What keeps you hooked is the mystery. Now imagine if they told you the ending at the beginning. Boring, right? The same logic applies to flirting. If you're always there, as predictable as breakfast, she won't see you as a challenge. And buddy, if there's one thing women love, it's a challenge. I've been that guy. I was seeing a girl and did everything to please her, replied at lightning speed, canceled any plans to be with her, and bent over backward to be the perfect guy. The result? She started to disappear. I was left wondering, where did I go wrong? The answer? I took all the excitement out of the game. I was so predictable that she didn't even want to play anymore. So, here's the deal. The secret isn't to be cold, but to find the right balance between interest and mystery. You don't need to cling to her all the time for her to like you. In fact, it's the space that creates curiosity. And curiosity turns into interest. Want to know how to do this the right way? Let's get into it. Have you ever heard of the push and pull technique? You know the saying, take one step forward and two steps back. Push and pull is basically that, but with more charm. It's the balance between showing interest and keeping a healthy distance. Like adjusting the air conditioning. Warm enough to be comfortable, but not to the point of melting. The pull is when you show genuine interest. It could be a compliment, a joke, or giving her some extra attention. The push is when you take a step back, like making it clear you have other priorities. It's not about manipulating. It's about creating a rhythm where she realizes what she's gaining and what she could lose. A practical example. You're talking to her, crack a funny joke, and there's that connection. Then, before the conversation gets stale, you say, I love talking to you, but I need to take care of a few things. We'll talk later. Simple and direct. This leaves her wanting more. Why does it work? Because we value what isn't guaranteed. When you balance attention and mystery, she'll keep thinking about you. Her curiosity turns into desire. And, my friend, when that happens, the game changes. Want to know how to use this to become the guy she can't stop thinking about? Stick with me. How to be the guy she can't ignore. Have you noticed how we obsess over things that seem out of reach? That's the power of mystery. It sparks curiosity, and curiosity is like fuel for interest. When you use push and pull, it's not about manipulating or playing games with her, but about being authentic and adding a little unpredictability to the mix. This leaves her intrigued, thinking about you more than she'd ever admit to herself. The secret of mystery lies in simplicity. Don't give everything away at once. If you reply in seconds, are always there, and never surprise her, she knows exactly what to expect. But if you sometimes go silent for a few hours or end a conversation at its peak, she'll start wondering, what's he doing? Is he thinking about me? This suspense creates a powerful emotional connection. And the best part is, she won't even realize it's happening. A friend of mine completely turned things around with a girl using this approach. Instead of always replying instantly or being available all the time, he kept things light and strategic. They'd chat, laugh, but he'd leave the conversation at its peak like, I love that, but I gotta run. We'll talk later. Suddenly, she was the one reaching out to him and even suggesting dates. He became interesting because he was unpredictable. So, here's the takeaway. Being interesting is about letting her want to learn more about you. Mystery, combined with genuine moments of connection, makes her feel like she's winning you over. And let's be honest, the thrill of the chase makes everything more exciting for her. Want to know how to put this into practice in your next conversation? Let's move to the next step. How to use push and pull without seeming robotic. Now that you're familiar with the concept, it's time to put it into action. And before you ask, no, this isn't a rigid script to memorize. The trick is to act naturally, confidently, and casually. Start with something that shows your energy, like a funny comment or a compliment that's casual, not something that feels rehearsed. Something like, did you know you have the superpower to make any topic sound interesting? Once the conversation picks up, it's time for the push. Here you slow things down. It can be as simple as saying, I need to take care of a few things now, but I love talking to you. We'll chat later. You don't need to come up with crazy excuses. Just show that your life is interesting and that you have things going on, which is true, right? This creates space for her to miss you. When you come back, bring good vibes. Ask something fun. Share a funny story from your day. That's the pull. This move keeps the conversations engaging and reinforces that you enjoy the interaction, but but that you also have a life beyond her. And this balance is what makes her want more time with you. Finally, pay attention to what happens. If she starts reaching out to you more, texting first, or even suggesting meetups, congratulations, my friend, you're nailing the balance. The secret of push and pull isn't following a rigid plan, but adapting the technique to match your style and situation. It's like tuning a guitar. Small adjustments make everything harmonize perfectly. Now it's your turn. The right time to use push and pull. Don't mess it up. Knowing when to use push and pull is almost an art. The most common mistake? Overdoing it in one direction. If you show too much interest, you become predictable and lose the spark. But if you go too far the other way and pull back too much, it might seem like you don't care. The key is finding the right balance by observing her reactions and adjusting your approach like a master strategist. For instance, if she's taking too long to reply or seems uninterested, you might be overdoing the push. In this case, a light pull like saying, "Hey, I saw something that reminded me of you," followed by a casual comment, could reignite the spark. On the other hand, if she's super engaged, it's time to take a breather. Give her a little space to miss you. The idea is to maintain harmony, neither lukewarm nor boiling over. Think of push and pull as tuning a guitar. You adjust each string until you get the perfect sound. Women want to feel desired, but also respect a guy who has his own life and isn't desperate. That's what shows confidence and self-assurance. And guess what? That's what sets you apart from the crowd. There's no one-size-fits-all recipe for this. Every person is unique, and every interaction has its own rhythm. What matters is staying attentive, being flexible, and having that confident air of someone who knows what they're doing. When you sync your energy with hers, you create a natural connection that draws her in even more. Want to know how this makes her miss you? Let's dive in. Strategically disappearing is like psychological magic. When you do it at the right moment, something amazing happens. She starts thinking about you. A lot. This isn't a cheap trick, it's science. When you step back, you give her space to process the emotions you've stirred up. And during this time, her interest grows like bread rising in the oven. Imagine you've just had a fun, chemistry-filled conversation. Then instead of dragging it on until it fizzles out, you wrap it up with something like, "I've got to go now, but it was great talking to you." This small withdrawal makes the moment stick in her mind as something positive. She'll think, "Why did it end so soon?" and want more. It's like a good movie ending on a cliffhanger. You're left eagerly awaiting the sequel. The trick here isn't to vanish completely, but to create intentional pauses that let her realize your impact. When you master push and pull, you create that something's missing feeling that makes her compare how good it feels talking to you versus the silence. Guess which one wins? And don't worry if she doesn't immediately chase after you. It's normal for interest to grow gradually. Suddenly, something you said or the way you made her laugh pops back into her head. Out of nowhere, she feels like texting you. This strategic absence is what turns casual interest into something deeper. Want to know how to turn this into a powerful connection? Let's keep going. Be the guy she can't forget. For push and pull to truly shine, you need to be more than just a guy with a game plan. The secret is to become someone with natural magnetism. That comes from investing in yourself, building confidence, and living with purpose. Women quickly notice a guy who has passion and goals, and that's what will set you apart from 90% of other guys out there. Now, imagine you're in a casual conversation with her, talking about a hobby or project that excites you. You're not trying to impress her. You're just being yourself, showing genuine passion. That's attractive because people with purpose have contagious energy. She'll feel it and want to know more. This is a powerful pull and, best of all, completely natural. This doesn't mean you should change who you are to please her. On the contrary, it's about embracing what makes you unique. Maybe you have a skill or interest that not everyone values, but it's part of who you are. When you live authentically, the push, those strategic spaces, highlights your independence even more. She realizes that being with you is a privilege, not a given. The result is simple. You won't just be another guy trying to get her attention. You'll become someone she genuinely admires and desires. Push and pull becomes much more powerful when it comes from a naturally interesting guy, because she'll recognize the value you bring to her life. Want to become that guy? Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. But first, I have a message for you. Imagine having access to an exclusive method created by Kate Spring, one of the most respected voices in the field of attraction and seduction. The Obsession Method isn't just another guide. It's a unique and strategic system that only a small number of men have had the privilege of learning. This method provides techniques that cut straight to the point, teaching you how to create an irresistible connection with any woman, like having a secret key that few possess. Kate developed the obsession method for men who want something extraordinary. And the best part? This method is exclusive and available only to those who take action. Here, you'll learn how to understand and attract women in a way they can't resist, even if you've never had success before. Imagine having something that others don't, something that makes all the difference in your love life. This is an opportunity for the select few. If you want to join this privileged group, click the link below in the comments and get the obsession method now. Don't let this rare chance slip by, and discover what it's like to stand among those who hold the true power of attraction in their hands. How to stay in control and enjoy the results. Getting to this point is already a big step, but maintaining emotional control is what separates the guys who shine from those who just get lucky occasionally. The push and pull technique only works if you know how to keep your balance. No desperation, no impulsiveness. This is where self-control comes in. Imagine she texts you after a bit of silence. The temptation to reply immediately might be strong, but hold on. If you wait a little and respond when you're genuinely available, it'll make a bigger impact. It shows you have priorities and that your life doesn't revolve around her. And my friend, women respect men who have their own lives. Another thing, don't get worked up if she takes a while to reply. The last thing you want is to come across as needy or dramatic. Push and pull is about balance, remember? If she seems less interested at some point, stay confident and keep investing in yourself. When you show emotional stability, not only do you maintain her interest, but you also become the guy she wants to keep around. And finally, celebrate the wins. When she starts reaching out, suggesting dates, or showing more interest, it's proof that your approach is working. Use these moments to deepen the connection without losing the rhythm you've built. At this stage, push and pull stops being a technique. It becomes part of who you are. And when that happens, the sky's the limit. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel and make sure to watch the next video now, playing on your screen.